Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Nets lose Game 4, 116-112. And I saw some things in this game that just made me feel like I was watching a Laker game for real. From the presentation of the Barclays Center to where it was like they tried to make what they do the Lakers way, but like times 30. So it was like every 5 minutes it was a new dance team or a new performance or something. It was like, all right, yeah, you guys are extravagant. I get it, but can we get back to basketball? That's basically what I found myself saying most of the time. But nevertheless, so Steve Nash, with about a minute and 20 something seconds to go, he had taken Blake Griffin out of the game. And I don't know who it was that he subbed in, but that person was a short person. And he left himself with no rim protection. And I believe it was Jaylen Brown that drove at the rim, got a basket, and put him up by 4. They were never able to recover from that. Steve Nash went full Vogel. That's what I call that. Where you go small ball at the most inopportune time. Leave yourself with absolutely no rim protection. And the other team just takes advantage of it. That is why they lost the game. Because of that substitution. When you take Blake Griffin out, that should have either been Andre Drummond, of whom got 4 minutes. Claxton, of whom you know you can't play. We'll get into that. Should have been LaMarcus Aldridge. Should have had him in rotation. The point is, you can't leave yourself with no rim protection in a situation like that with your back against the wall. Like, what? No rim protection? And it's down to 2. Basically, you got enough time to run 2 plays. The other team has the lead. They got the ball. And you sub out your big and you bring in a small to play defense? To play defense? I didn't. He needs to be fired. And I'm pretty sure they'll take care of that. 1 for 11 for Claxton. This is what I was saying. They rely upon young players. But that 1 for 11 in a closeout game with your back against the wall, and that's what you do? Come on, man. Like, seriously. I will be very surprised if he's a Net next year. Because you can't do that in a playoff game and not have some ramifications. That's a real bad thing. When you only lose by 4 and you got a guy that missed 10 free throws? Nah. It became so bad he's unplayable. So now at a stretch of the game, when they needed someone to stop someone at the rim, Steve Nash didn't trust him to put him in the game. That's what happened. That's why they lost. Because Steve Nash did not trust that kid because that kid had proven himself to be untrustworthy. But see, Steve Nash should have subbed someone else in. Not a small, bro. And if you're going to show a lack of faith in your young player, at least substitute something that's going to make some damn sense. In the playoffs, a game 4 when you're down 0-4. But hey, y'all thought y'all didn't need a coach, so there you go. It came down to a coaching decision that ultimately cost you your season. Truthfully. I mean, a lot of things led up to it, but you would still be alive if you didn't do that dumb stuff right there. Let's just keep it real. Yeah, they would still be around. The way KD was marching, he hoisted up 31 shots. I don't know where that's been. Where has that been? He waiting until now to get this, to feel this urgency, to want to hoist up 31 shots? They needed that 2 games ago. But see, that's the story with the Nets all the way around. Everything is something they needed 2 games ago. They needed Blake Griffin to hurry up and come back 2 games ago. They needed Kyrie Irving to come around and play better 2 games ago. They needed all this stuff. Bruce Brown did not show up. Same guy that was talking about how he was so confident they were going to do all this. When they had their back against the wall in a game 4, no show. I was right. They had a lot more fight in them than I thought. That's because KD decided to show up. That's it. Still went home, just like I thought. You know, we talk about the Lakers and how disappointing they are. Yeah, bad. We suck. But at least our fit was awkward. These guys? Nah, man. I don't have a whole lot good to say about the Brooklyn Nets at this point. I really don't. I think they have a very, very messed up situation they're going to head into in the offseason because Well, just like the Lakers, they have some players on tab that they're probably best to move on from, and doing so is not going to be the easiest decision for the organization. But there's something to be said for youth and sustainability, and those are two things that those franchises do not have. They tried to buy their way through a championship with the 3 max contract formula. That is a recipe for failure starting last year. We should have known better with the advent of COVID-19 and the introduction of COVID protocol. You should have known better. But you were arrogant. And I believe personally everybody was trying to get a little more money than they probably normally would be going after by putting something like this together. A little money hungry. And ultimately you get what you get. When you slap together ish, you get what you get. And so that's what the story of the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers is. They slapped together ish and they got what they got. Straight up. I think both teams should consider blowing these two teams up. They should blow their rosters up. Do you know why I think the Nets should blow the roster up? Because KD has proven that he needs a lot more than just Kyrie Irving and Blake Griffin to compete in the Eastern Conference that's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Do you think any of these teams going away? Toronto with Scotty, Cleveland over there with Evan. You know, you look around, you see what's going on. Atlanta, Trey. You think these teams are going away? Boston, Milwaukee, Giannis. You see Giannis falling off. This is not the time to be building around old people. And I hate to tell you this, KD, but welcome to it, fam. You're now there. This is day one of KD's old. It doesn't mean he can't have a great game. He had a great game tonight. But it means if you're going to be building around him, you better make damn sure you have a whole lot around him. Because what they just did right there, they try to build through 3 superstars. Nah. Nope. We saw how fantastic Kyrie can be down the stretch. And I think if he would have been better conditioned for this series, he would have gave them more down the stretch in this game. He was winded, even though he had some nice big shots in this game. He did his thing, played some good defense as well. But at the end of the day, he was gassed. And they needed him to hoist up about 30 shots. And he didn't. And that was the bottom line there. You know, I look at some of the stuff that I saw down there, some of the substitution stuff. You know, got to give credit to the Celtics who were kicking butt. Obviously, Grant Williams was phenomenal. You know, Al Horford was kicking butt down there. They were both stretching the floor. Jason Tatum, obviously, you know what he did, but got fouled out early in the game, which is why the Nets were left back with an opportunity to get in there. Because he picked up his 5th foul with, I think, 8 minutes, and his 6th foul with, I think, somewhere around 2 minutes or something like that, if I have it correctly. But the Celtics were still able to hold out. They were still able to make just enough happen, get a few, just enough going for themselves. And, you know, you think about down the stretch of these games. You know, I think about game 1, the little spin move. Well, I wouldn't say little, but you know what I'm saying? Just a heads-up play by the Boston Celtics to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. I think tonight was the same way. You could see the clutch gene in this team. You could see how they seized the moment down the stretch when you consider that one substitution where they removed Blake Griffin, who was providing so very much energy on both sides of the floor with rebounding and all these different things he was doing for the Nets. As soon as he pulled Blake out and made that substitution, they immediately recognized that that rim was clear and that they could get to that thing anytime they wanted, and that's exactly what they did. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's the type of stuff that helps you understand just how clutch they are. Marcus Smart was fantastic, especially in his passing game. Making plays for others is what stood out for me. Some of the heads-up plays he was making, awesome. And defensively, you already know he was hounding people. So at this point, I still believe the Boston Celtics are the best team in the league today. They just are. You don't have to like it. I certainly don't like it as a Laker fan. But as far as I can tell, the championship's theirs if they want it. Because all of these teams around I'm looking at, they all have either key injuries, key issues, or very tall tasks that I think could wear them down by the time the finals come around. You know, so the Boston Celtics are going to have to take their lumps as well. but they look about as healthy as anybody. They have a huge, huge lineup and full rotation of players that stretch all the way back to their 12th man that they could put in there and play defense, stretch the floor, get into the teeth of the defense, and the various different things that you need to help you play with versatility in this league. With Phoenix looking like they're falling off, Timberwolves may actually get a chance to get their situation going against Memphis. I think the door is wide open for a team like Boston to just snatch it from a team like Golden State maybe, or whomever comes out of the West. It's possible. Especially since I look at Jordan Poole, see that elbow. Injuries are piling up for everyone. Doesn't seem like it is for the Celtics because they just got Grant Williams back, and everybody else seems to be A-okay. So we'll see how things go over the next several days when we find out what happens with this Chicago and Milwaukee matchup. That will determine who the Celtics will see, because the Nets will be seeing Cancun in a fishing pole very soon. It's a wrap for them, man. I'm sure I'll make more videos on that throughout the summer. The Nets are an entire story, but as far as this game is concerned, it is over. The Nets season is over. They can go ahead and sit next to us on the couch, go out there and dance with Bron, listen to some Pharrell, because that is what time it is for the Brooklyn Nets. It is over. They got the support of Spike Lee, and that's the most important thing. Above all else, you didn't chapter the championship. You had a lot of things go wrong, but Spike Lee came to see y'all play, and that is a massive deal. For those who are aware of what it is to be a Knicks fan in New York and what Spike Lee means to the New York Knicks, you understand that was a massive milestone for that franchise. Y'all on your way. You just got to make good, sustainable decisions. Do not piggyback the Lakers. Y'all can, piggyback us as it pertains to your presentation, all the, the dancers and all that good stuff. Hey, that's the way to do it. But that 3 max contract stuff, no. Follow Golden State. They have a better idea of how to do that because we're doing it the wrong way. So that's what I got to say, man. My name is BDF44. I'm hopeful these teams will make the changes necessary. I know they're not going to want to because those superstars aren't going to want to move, but if they can try beating this dead horse again, they're going to get knocked off by the Celtics next year too. I promise you. Ain't nothing going to change. There's nothing going to change. All that's going to happen is this guy's going to be 1 year older. And as far as I can tell with Ben Simmons, well, we're going to see how that plays out. Because now we're in an uncertain space. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about back injuries. We're talking about desire. And whether or not he has it to play basketball anymore. I believe he does. But he's going to have to prove that. His team needed him tonight. And there was an opportunity for him to be questionable for whatever reason. He didn't go. He didn't go in game 3. He didn't go in game 4. And they are going home. Take that for what it's worth. So I'm going to get back to watching the end of the Philadelphia-Toronto game. Last I checked, Toronto was doing great. And they're fighting for their lives. So I will get back to you guys. BDF44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.